In the heart of Lagos, where the streets hummed with life and ambition coursed through people like their lifeblood, Adunni sat quietly in the back row of a bustling boardroom. Her hair, usually styled meticulously, was tied back haphazardly, and she wore no jewellery. She whispered to herself, "Just breathe in and out." As the meeting began, her brother-in-law, Sei, stood at the head of the table, trying to command the room with his booming voice. "I move that we continue with the expansion plans. Adunni's absence has slowed progress." Adunni clenched her fists under the table, biting her tongue. She had given them power of attorney when she fell sick, trusting they would oversee her business with the same care she would. She watched as her two sisters-in-law, Bimbo and Moji, nodded eagerly, eyes glinting with self-interest. Moji glanced sideways at Adunni, a small, smug smile playing on her lips. It felt like everyone except her was in on a secret. Adunni leaned forward. "Why wasn't I informed about this meeting earlier?" she queried, her voice calm but firm. Sei waved dismissively. There was no need to stress you with it. We have it all handled." He smiled the kind of smile that said the matter was closed. But when the meeting ended and most had left, Bimbo lingered. "Adunni, you'll find that it's best if you take it easy," she said gently, though her brow arched with sly amusement. "What do you mean?" Adunni asked, her stomach churning. Bimbo shrugged. "Well, while you were occupied with your health, we had to step up. You should just focus on taking care of yourself now." Adunni felt a tightness in her chest as she watched Bimbo stride out. The board wasn't just excluding her, they were effectively pushing her out. Back at her apartment, the walls felt like they were closing in. Adunni opened her laptop and logged into the company's accounts. Her heart sank as the numbers glared back at her. Funds were missing, large amounts that disappeared over several months. That evening, she called her mother, her rock. "Mama, something is wrong. I can feel it, and it's like they've taken over everything." Mama sighed softly. My daughter, maybe it is time to show them that you're stronger than they think. Don't let them forget who built that business." The following morning, Adunni went into action. She called Madupe, her loyal accountant who had promised to keep an eye on things while she was unavailable. "Come to my office now, I need your help," Adunni said, urgency in her voice. When Madupe arrived, the tension in Adunni's office was palpable. She handed Adunni a stack of reports. "I didn't want to worry you, but I've been keeping track. They've moved money, not just in Nigeria, but to accounts abroad." Adunni felt the blood drain from her face. "They've taken something I built from scratch," she whispered, more to herself than to Madupe. She recalled staying late nights stitching together plans, tirelessly working to make her business a reality, her escape from an oppressive past. In a moment of resolve, she looked at Madupe. "I need to call a board meeting without them knowing." Madupe nodded. "I can help with that. But you'll need a solid plan." Adunni leaned back, eyes set with determination. "We start by securing whatever is left. Then I'll confront Sei publicly." The night before the meeting, Adunni didn't sleep. She combed through emails, bank records, contracts. Each document etched new lines of betrayal across her heart. But she refused to crumble. Not now. As she walked into her office the next day, the calm before a storm lingered in the air. Her staff glanced at her, sensing the gravity of what was about to unfold. Adunni called for a full staff assembly, sparing no one. With everyone gathered, she stepped forward. "I have a confession," she began, voice steady despite the storm in her heart. "While I was away, this company changed hands in ways I never authorized." Gasps filled the room, eyes wide with disbelief. She held up an envelope containing evidence of the financial tampering. "There will be consequences for those who betrayed this trust, and for those complicit, know this, I intend to take back what is rightfully mine." The room's air was thick with anticipation as Adunni faced her employees, her voice echoing in the tension. She slid the envelope across the table, the sound sharp in the silence. "Those who have wronged this company will face legal consequences," she declared, her eyes sweeping across the assembled faces. Just then, the door at the back swung open, and Sei strode in, his confident smile faltering as he absorbed the charged atmosphere. "You can't do this, Adunni," Sei said, trying to reclaim control. "We are family. We should resolve these matters quietly." Adunni's laugh was bitter. Family, she retorted. Family would have protected what I built, not plunder it. You left me no choice. As Adunni laid bare the evidence of embezzlement and betrayal, the room buzzed with murmurs. Bimbo shifted uncomfortably, while Moji avoided everyone's eyes, their guilt illuminated by the PowerPoint's glow. When you took advantage of my illness, did you think of family then? Adunni pressed, her words piercing like arrows. The siblings-in-law were silent, exposed under the weight of their actions. Modupe stepped forward, the financial reports she held like a shield. We've secured the remaining assets, Adunni, she announced. Everything is in place for a criminal investigation. Sei slammed his fist on the table. How dare you threaten us with the law, after all we've done for you? The confrontation continued to seethe until Sei's frustration broke through. It's true, we took what was not ours, he admitted, anger and defensiveness entwining in his voice. But we deserved something for holding everything up while you were indisposed. Adunni's heart ached at his twisted justification. You deserve my trust and loyalty, nothing more, she countered, each word heavy with her pain. Bimbo, catching her brother's eyes, finally spoke, a shake in her voice. Maybe we should reconsider this. It's gone too far. In the quiet that followed, Adunni's earlier resolve began to waver. Her stomach churned with the possibility of jail for her in-laws, despite what they'd done. Could she live with that? As she stared into Sei's defiant eyes and Bimbo's anxious ones, doubt crept in. The room was electric, emotions raw and unfiltered, when the sound of gentle knocking redirected their attention. The office cleaner, Mrs. Ise, stood in the doorway. Ma, she whispered, her Yoruba tinged with her Igbo accent. Please, may I have a moment? Adunni nodded, unsure of why the elderly widow had chosen now to intervene. Mrs. Ise stepped forward, her hands clasped together, a figure of humility and grace amidst the turmoil. Forgive me for speaking out of turn, she began, her voice soft but unwavering. I overheard your troubles. It pains me watching a family torn. Adunni felt her chest tighten. Mrs. Ise, sometimes revenge feels like the only way to heal, she replied, her voice carrying her turmoil. Mrs. Eze nodded knowingly. I understand, but revenge can consume, Ma Adunni. I've seen it in my own life. It doesn't heal, it festers. Sei frowned, uneasy with the intrusion. What do you know of our situation? He challenged, disdain lacing his words. Mrs. Ise met his gaze, unflinching. I've known pain and betrayal, but only God healed my heart, she shared, her eyes shining with a depth forged through struggle. Christ showed me that forgiveness is not weakness, it's power. But they took everything, Adunni whispered, as if confessing her agony to them all. And what is left after revenge? Mrs. Ise continued. Have you considered what Christ endured for us? Perhaps there is a path to healing that does not destroy more. The room's defiant energy stilled, introspective. Adunni's mind battled with the conviction in Mrs. Ise's words that healing through Christ might mend what she could not. Bimbo looked at Adunni, her expression haunted. I never wanted it to come to this, she admitted, returning to the vulnerability of the sibling she once was. Moji stirred, tears glossy in her eyes. Maybe we can find another way forward, she suggested, the weight of uncertainty pressed heavily around them. Outside the boardroom, the world continued, indifferent to the drama within. Adunni sensed a shift in her heart, a crack where revenge had ruled. What if Mrs. Ise was right? Could forgiveness pave a road to peace? Perhaps it's time to step back, Modupe murmured beside her, sensing Adunni's internal conflict. Adunni nodded slowly, recognizing a deeper intervention at work. Her focus shifted to the files, to Mrs. Ise's words resonating within her, urging her to consider the cost of her retaliation. Tears pricked at Adunni's eyes as the truth settled over her. She had sought vindication, but at what cost to her soul? She bowed her head, the realization of physical weight. Lord, I don't know what to do, she whispered in the quiet of her heart, the prayer tangible, raw, but if you can show me a way, I'll take it. Thank you so much for listening to this powerful story. We really appreciate you and hope you learned something valuable. If you enjoyed this story or want a part 2, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a story, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what this story meant to you. See you next time.